Cucumber, 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 cucumber. How does the saying cucumber not make you sneeze? Plot hole in a movie? Yeah, but honestly, I don't care. Hey guys, this is Frozen Wish to Use here, and welcome back to another movie review. And today, I'm going to be doing our review on Thunderbolts. So, Thunderbolts is the latest installment in the MCU and the final film in MCU's Phase 5. And it came out in the year 2025. And it's also the second MCU movie to come out this year, with the first one being Captain America Brave New World. And it is directed by Jake Schreier, the same director as the underappreciated TV show Beef, which more people need to talk about. And I'll talk about that show briefly about the show later. And it stars Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan, Julia Louis Dreyfus, Louis Pullman, David Harbour, Wyatt Russell, Hannah John Kamen, Olga Kurilenko, Geraldine Viswanathan, Violet McGraw, etc. And so the film tells a story of a group of anti-heroes who are hired by Valentina to pretty much go to this facility, this abandoned warehouse. They were all like on like separated secret missions, but the film mainly primarily focuses on Yelena. Yelena is trying to find herself, as she feels like she has no purpose, and she just randomly throws herself into work, just trying to just do whatever assignments Valentina asks her to do. And for the Yelena's quote unquote biggest mission yet, she is tasked to stop Ghost from quote unquote robbing, attempting to rob Val's place, not which is not true, which she was never intended to rob. And this assignment has caused Yelena to bump into the the other main characters of the film. You know um John Walker, the fake Captain America, U.S. agent, Ghost, Taskmaster, and also Bob. Yeah, Larry Bob, who you may know as Sentry, and then Bucky joins the team later on. And so yeah, they all are forced. Oh yeah, also Red Guardian also joins the Thunderbolts later on. By the way, they're all the Thunderbolts are trapped in this one room. They Asio Val literally wanted the Thunderbolts to the main characters to kill each other, the anti-heroes, but instead they decided to work together to escape from the place that Val sent them to be. Val but of course, when Val finds out that they're working together, of course she sends out the government to stop them, and it turns out, Val is experimenting on Bob, the mysterious person that they found with them in the room, who eventually becomes Sentry. He is Val's new Avenger, or something like that. And so, yeah, the Thunderbolts must work together to not only stop Val from whatever she's doing, but also to face their face the darkest corners of their past, and find some redemption in themselves. And so that's a plot for. So yeah, now I'm ever since Thunderbolts was announced in D23 back in 2022. This has always been one of my most anticipated MCU movies yet. And that is mainly because of one character who I am a huge fan of, Yelena. Yeah, so those who know me so well know that I am a huge fan of Yelena. She is one of my favorite MCU characters of all time. In fact, she would be my second favorite MCU character in general, second only to Kate Bishop. And so when I found out, Thunderbolts was going to be a film led by Yelena, it was going to be a team up movie. Of course, I got hyped for it. But unfortunately, yeah, no one else seemed to be hyped for it but me. As you know, people hated the idea of just of the Thunderbolts group being that and consisting of some of the more some of the lesser popular MCU heroes, up to the point where people are like, oh, no Zemo, no Abomination, yeah. And if I'm sure if you guys have been following me since 2022, you all know that I have been defending this film. And this was so certainly I called this my most anticipated upcoming MCU movie next to the Avengers because they are I believe they announced Kang Dynasty and Doomsday in the same year. Heck, no, sorry, I mean say Kang Dynasty and the Secret Wars. Yeah, they announced both movies first before Thunderbolts. But yeah, Thunderbolts was like among my top three most anticipated simply because of Yelena herself, and also because it's a team up movie and all that stuff. And besides the fact that it starred non fan favorite characters, people also gave this a backlash because of how because of the fact that it was just going to be a Suicide Squad ripoff. Yeah, I mean, I could see the similarities between this and Suicide Squad, but when you watch the actual movie, it's not Suicide Squad rip-off. Yeah, let's get that right out of the way. It is not a rip-off of Suicide Squad. Both are completely different movies. Sure, yes, they're both about a woman recruiting a bunch of anti-heroes, forcing them to work together and all that stuff, but yeah, I mean, execution wise, yeah, they're both different. And yeah, even though this movie got a lot of hate from fans, up to the point where they would even go as far as calling this the worst announcement of D23. Eventually, over time, some of the fans started to realize that maybe Thunderbolts could actually be a good movie. And keep in mind that we're in the era of the MCU where now the MCU has become polarizing. The MCU where people would just automatically praise is long gone now. Now we're in the phase where people just love to hate on the MCU no matter what it is. But the moment they found out what projects Jake Schreier has worked on, as well as his crew of writers, people realized, oh, maybe Thunderbolts has potential because they actually hired a good director and good writers. And I believe the fact that Marvel hired weak writers and weak director, mostly writers, is the reason why people feel like the MCU movies have not been consistent lately. And Jake Schreier directed the TV show Beef, which yes, I have seen Beef. I actually started to watch Beef after watching Doom Blazer's review of the show, and it's really good. It's a damn good show, and now watching this movie just made me want to watch a Beef all over again. Oh yeah, and another Jake Shire film that I have seen is Paper Towns. I actually watched it when it first came out, not in theaters, but in yeah, I remember enjoying it, but I don't remember a lot from the film. Yeah, but besides Beef and Paper Towns, yeah, I haven't seen his other film. So Thunderbolts is just the third Jake Schreier project that I have seen. And then the trailers came out, and of course, well, the trailers were divisive. There are a handful of people who are willing to give movies a benefit of the doubt. People who just want to give the MC a chance, no matter how much they fall. They said this movie looked good, but then there are some people who are denying it. And yes, I love the Thunderbolts trailers, and Thunderbolts has always been my most anticipated movie, MCU movie of the year, more than both Captain America: Brave New World and the Fantastic Four: First Steps. And then we got some reviews from test screenings to early reactions where they were praising the hell out of this as one of the best MCU movies yet, and some would even go as far as calling this the greatest post Endgame MCU movie yet. But of course, yeah, people were like, the MCU, good old MC, post Endgame MCU haters were like, oh, there's no way Thunderbolts are gonna be good because oh, you can't say something nice about post Endgame MCU. You were just a page who's afraid to admit that Marvel's fail. Oh, Thunderbolts will suck. I want to hate Thunderbolts. And all that stuff. Yeah, people just don't want to give this one chance. But guess what? The Rotten Tomatoes score is at 88%, the same score as Wicked. I told you so. I fucking told you Thunderbolts is gonna be amazing. And this is like another one of those movies where I was right with my predictions. I knew this movie was gonna be something truly special. Um, and people were just in denial because they wanted this movie to fail because they wanted the Marvel, uh, they wanted just the idea of MCU movies being released after Endgame to just fail because it's cool to hate on the MCU now. But I knew that Marvel had it in them, and yes, I was actually worried about what the Rotten Tomatoes score was going to be because people would say it's the best. Every time people would call a post Endgame MCU movie the best MCU movie since Endgame, like the strongest one in the post Endgame era, that tends to not say much. I mean, sure, yes, the last time an MCU movie got rave reviews before this was Spider-Man: No Way Home. And then with that, yeah, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is called the best MCU movie since Endgame. 84% Rotten Tomatoes, which is low for that standards. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was called the best MCU movie since Endgame. 82%, the lowest rated film in the Guardians trilogy. Which I still think is bullshit because it is the best Guardians film. And Deadpool Wolverine was called the best post Endgame MCU movie. 78% Rotten Tomatoes, lower than Black Widow, with a movie that people hate but I defend. Oh, and by the way, speaking of Black Widow, yeah, I was supposed to watch I was supposed to do a redo review of Black Widow in preparation for Thunderbolts. But if you saw my community post on the updates on my Black Widow review, yeah. So yesterday I saw Thunderbolts. Yeah, I saw Thunderbolts in theaters. And you probably saw my theater reaction. But before I give you all my thoughts on it, and before I actually talk about the movie, I will address it. I know you're gonna say, "Oh, Frozen, why are you still blindly praising MCU movies out of bias? You're just overhyping MCU movies. Post Endgame MCU movies are not masterpiece. You only love this movie just because of Yelena in it." Sure, yes, sir. I will admit with Captain America: Brave New World and a few other MCU movies, like Ant-Man: The Wasp: Quantumania, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Yeah, I will admit, I praise those movies out of bias, and debatably, arguably for Deadpool Wolverine too, because Deadpool Wolverine is a film that people admitted they overhyped, but I still think that Deadpool Wolverine is as good as I remember it being. Yeah, but I want you to actually listen and understand because I am confident that I'm not only blindly praising this because it's another MCU movie. Yeah, I know I've been overpraising them, but just don't listen and understand. Yeah, people have already judged me about this, saying, "Oh, Frozen, you're just over exaggerating about Thunderbolts. It's not a masterpiece. You're just saying you're blah blah blah." What I'm about to say, I am going to be reviewing this movie as a cinephile, not as a Marvel fan, as a Marvel fanboy. So yeah, after seeing Thunderbolts for myself, I gotta say, Marvel, you Disney, you fucking knocked it out of the park. You just absolutely, it is a masterpiece. And it's not just another masterpiece because it's Marvel, and yeah, it is objectively a masterpiece. I cannot believe how good this was. So yeah, and this movie fucking subverted my expectations. I did not think this movie was going to dethrone Sinners as my favorite movie of the year so far. I was not expecting that. I thought Sinners was going to be my favorite live action movie of the year. I still think Zootopia 2 will be my favorite movie of the year in general, but I was I thought I predicted that this was going to be my second favorite movie of the year, second one behind Sinners, but nope, it actually turned out to dethrone Sinners as my favorite movie of the year so far. It is a true testament to the genre. This is not your average superhero action movie with fan service. I know you're gonna think that it's just another superhero movie. No, the hell it is not. This is the most movie like superhero movie in years where it prioritizes on telling a good story over just fan service and mindless action. It is a film that doesn't focus on being a fun and action packed superhero film, even if there is fun to be had here with action and comedy, which I'll get to it later. But you know what? I'm gonna go jump straight into what makes this movie special, truly special. It is a raw, grounded, and humane story that focuses on the psychology of heroes, similar to something from the likes of The Incredibles. So it has powerful themes of mental health and redemption. It's a bold it is a bold dive into trauma, healing, and redemption disguised as a superhero movie. And and I'm sure we all know that all of the members of the team, except for Red Guardian, have gone through an antagonistic phase. And in a way, like where they're anti-heroes. Like Yelena was kind of an antagonist in Hawkeye, even though she was never meant to be an antagonist. She was an antagonist because of the fact that she was brainwashed by Valentina. We all saw how that unfolded. Ghost was the antagonist of Ghost was the antagonist of Ant-Man the Wasp, but U.S. Agent was an antagonist in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and you all know how it goes. Each of those characters, oh yeah, and also Taskmaster was the antagonist of Black Widow too. Now, yes, they were not the main antagonists of their respective films. So they were like just one of them. Hawkeye, Ant-Man the Wasp, Falcon and Winter Soldier. They all had their they all had their redemptive moments. Yeah, they all had moments of redemption. And by the way, speaking of Falcon and Winter Soldier, if only Carly Morgenthau was still alive and did not die, I bet she would have been a member of the Thunderbolts. I actually would have loved to see Carly Morgenthau. But at the same time, I'm fine with her dying. I mean, it's fine, I guess. So yeah, all of those characters have redeemed themselves, but and then they have but they still feel like they have nothing in their lives. So their goal in this movie is to redeem themselves. Red Guardian was like the only character who was never an antagonist. Oh, and also the Winter Soldier as well, Bucky Barnes. He was the antagonist of Captain America: The Winter Soldier after being brainwashed by Hydra. You all know that. All of the members here, they go through incredible character development in this one, as they must grapple with their past mistakes. It's such a brilliant idea to use B tier MCU characters that are not among fan favorites. Besides, I guess Bucky and Yelena, arguably, and this movie makes them a lot more likable than they already are. Florence Pugh is not only the standout of the film, but she delivers the single greatest performance in the entire MCU, and is absolutely Oscar worthy. Yeah, even more so than Angela Bassett. Oscars, please recognize Florence Pugh's talent in this one and give her a nomination for best actress at the Oscars. Place. Yeah, everyone else is great as well. Hannah John Kamen as Ghost. U.S. Agent, Wyatt Russell as U.S. Agent, David Harbour as Red Guardian, Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes. All truly great characters, but it is Yelena. She is the obvious standout of the film because of how, not only because of my personal bias towards Yelena, but because she carries the dramatic weight on her shoulders. And Sentry is going to be is going to be a fan favorite for sure. He honestly might be the greatest male character in the MCU since Steve Rogers' Captain America and Tony Stark slash Iron Man. Yeah, I love Sentry that much. He is literally a better version of Superman. I can feel it. But although he's like kind of like an anti-hero in this one, now it's basically Sentry's turn to go through what all these characters have gone through in their respective projects. And yeah, his Sentry suit, I gotta say, is the most comic accurate superhero suit I have ever seen. Thank God for the trailers not spoiling Sentry suit because once shows up once Baba shows up wearing the Sentry suit and changing his hair, audiences will have their jaw dropped by how comic accurate it is. But Sentry isn't just an amazing character for his suit and powerful. Oh, by the way, guys, he is powerful. He is a sympathetic character at war with himself, especially when he is being controlled by Valentina. He tries to like fight his inner demons, and that's essentially what this movie is about. It's about fighting inner demons. The third act of the film is the boldest thing the MCU has ever done, and it paid off. Imagine the third act of Everything Ever all at once, where it's weird on the outside but emotionally affecting on the inside. It's basically both at the same time. The emotional moment actually worked for me because it actually got me to cry. Honestly, the most I've cried in an MCU movie. I am not kidding. Yeah, it is. I won't say what exactly happens in this one. I will just say that everything that happens in the Absolute Cinema promo of Thunderbolts, where yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's basically the third act. That showcases what happens in the third act. So where Yelena walks into Sentry, not Sentry, but as in the Void, his shadow, in order to like confront Bob. Yeah, and all that stuff. Even though the film puts more emphasis on story and characters, it still has its moments of action and fun and there's comedy. People say there's a lack of action in the film, but there's actually more action than they made it out to be. Maybe it's because I expected the film to not have a lot of action based on what I said, but it's just that all of the action scenes were just short and small scales. But I never felt the slower and I never felt the pacing was slow. I think the pacing was just right, and I think the action scenes were just very well choreographed. They were badass. They were fun, and the highlight of the action is the practical effects, as they really did use practicality and not green screen slash CGI. So we need more MCU movies like this. So sure, I'm not as critical towards the green screen effects as other people are, but I wish that we would have more MCU movies like this one. And sure, this movie has an $180 budget, despite having practical effects. Obviously, I can tell a vast majority of the budget went to all the Sentry stuff and the Sentry stuff and the third act, which had a lot of fantastical elements to it. The score from Son Lux, who composed Everything Ever All at Once, aka my favorite live action movie of all time, knocked it out of the park with his score. Now, yeah, if there's anything to nitpick about the film, the mid-credit scene was meh, since it was just an advertisement for the Thunderbolts cereal box. However, the after-credit scene is the one to look out for, as it is the most cheer-worthy post-credit scene since the Infinity Saga. My audience has cheered at the after-credit scene. Oh, and also the humor as well. Yeah, I mean there is comedy in the film. It's not as funny as I expected. The comedy moments, they don't actually they actually land well, and they don't undercut the serious moments. When the movie gets serious and dark and gritty and grounded, it really goes there. It really goes with the seriousness, no jokes, but the jokes were placed in scenes where, like, there were some jokes in action scenes, like the car chase. We all know that that scene has a lot of jokes in it, but usually when there's time to breathe, yeah, they're like they go all out with the comedy. So yeah, before I conclude with my review of the film, if I were to rank the Thunderbolts characters, the members of the team, it would be like this. Number one is Yelena. Number two is Sentry. Number three is Ghost. Number four is Bucky Barnes. Number five is the Red Guardian. Number six is US Agent, and Taskmaster is the weakest. I think everyone will agree that Taskmaster will be Taskmaster will be. I'm sure Taskmaster will be everyone's least favorite Thunderbolts member once they see that Taskmaster. Yeah, you'll see what I mean when you watch the movie. I am not going to give away any spoilers. Oh, and also Valentina and Mel were great characters as well. Like if I were to include Val and Mel in my ranking of all Thunderbolts characters, I consider Val as my number. Val will be a number three, two or three. I'm debating if he's better than Sentry or not. And then I would put Mel behind Ghost, in between Ghost and Red Guardian. So yeah. So overall, Thunderbolts has officially dethroned Sinners as my favorite movie of 2025 so far, and it is likely to go down as my favorite live action movie of the year at the end of the year. Yeah, I call it that this will be my second favorite movie of the year, second only to Zootopia 2. It is a film that goes beyond just another superhero movie, as it's completely different and really made an impact. It's easy to view this as an action drama more than a superhero movie in a good way. Regardless of my fanboyisms with the MCU, I promise you that this will be a movie worth watching, and even the non MCU fans will like this. This is officially dethroned Deadpool Wolverine as the best Endgame MCU movie. And if you're wondering if I would say this is my favorite MCU movie yet, I feel like it is a contender, and I feel like this is the one. This is the MCU, the post Endgame MCU movie that that truly challenges Avengers Infinity War slash Endgame for mostly Endgame for the title of the best MCU movie. Like, I may have praised Spider-Man No Way Home as my favorite MCU movie, then I changed my mind. I praised Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 as my favorite MCU movie when I first saw it, changed my mind. Same thing with Deadpool Wolverine, but this might be the one right here. But unlike those movies, I don't want to be way too quick to say, oh, it's the best MCU movie ever. I want to just I'm going to rewatch Thunderbolts on Tuesday, so I that on that day I will fully decide if that is my favorite, if that will be my favorite, if this is my favorite MCU movie or not. But I will say this though, I think Thunderbolts is the best, the most well written MCU movie yet for sure because of how deep the themes are, and just yeah, we need more MCU movies like this. And it is also the MCU movie that made me cry the most. I am dead serious in this one. So with that said, guys, I'm going to give Thunderbolts a 6 out of 5 stars. Yeah, 5 out of 5 doesn't do it justice, so 6 out of 5 absolutely. So yeah, even though I highly doubt the Fantastic Four First Steps will top this movie, I hope the Fantastic Four First Steps can have as great of reviews as this one. Maybe like at least I predict that the Rotten Tomato score for Fantastic Four First Steps is 81%. Now I'm not expecting Fantastic Four to be like super well received, I would love Fantastic Four First Steps to get rave reviews, but I feel like it won't get as raved as it won't be as raved as this one. We'll have to see how it is. I just hope it's another positively received the MCU movie like this one. So for my review of Thunderbolts, what are your thoughts on the movie? Would you agree with me that this is the best post Endgame MCU movie yet? Or do you think that this movie is slightly overrated or and overhyped? Oh, and by the way, the people who are saying that Thunderbolts is mediocre at best and not that good, honestly, you're fucking liars. You only hate this. You only like saying that about the movie just because you don't want to admit that an MCU movie is truly good, unless if there's so nostalgia and cameos and all that stuff and fan service where you can just layer on trash in it. So yeah, comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my review on the Star Wars movies. Yes, guys, I am going to be reviewing. I am officially going to be reviewing the Star Wars saga in preparation for Star Wars month. I'm. It's been long overdue now, but I'm finally doing it. All except Last Jedi and Rogue One, by the way, because I've already reviewed those two before, back in 2022. So yeah, bye guys.